Happy Saturday, Twin Cities, and welcome back to the Connect Show, where I'm with my business besties, Michaela and Lasha. Allie's out today, but we get together and we talk to women in business and female entrepreneurs about all the things. It's been a busy week, so let's jump into it.
All right, so this past week, I know you ladies heard the president gave a speech, and there was, of course, a lot of opinions. But the one that jumped out at me, I was sitting in my car walking into a coffee shop and I heard him talk about America is not racist, says Tim Scott. I had to stay in my car and keep listening after that one. So I don't know what America he's living in, but what do you feel about that statement by Tim Scott?
It sounds like clickbait to me. It just sounds like a soundbite. I feel like we all know what it is. And I just feel like people sometimes use, these kind of headlines to get traffic, whether it be positive or negative, onto them. So I'm just like, I'm going to leave that right over there.
Right. And there's too much history and education out there for people to be able to listen to these comments and, think anything other than the truth. It's all about what you're willing to learn and accept. Perception is experience. It's so much more. But I was surprised I actually missed that presidential address. It was Biden's first one. And I'm always watching the news, but I missed that whole entire deal. But that is the part that continued to resonate, I guess, for many people across the country. So, yeah, interesting your perspectives. And Tim Scott, what are we going to do with him? I don't know.
Just distraction too, right? Like, of all the things that we're talking about, it's that piece of it out of the whole speech. I mean,
right.
I feel like things are done, sometimes with intention to distract us from what we need to be focused on. So I don't appreciate that.
Well, so much happened this week. The week's been busy, which, by the way, the week before I heard there was a shooting in St. Paul on Selby Avenue, which I know you're close to that space. My cousins and I have family on Selby too. And a lot of bullets actually went into their home. You can't make it up. I got on Facebook. I thought it was a joke. What is going down in St. Paul in Minnesota? Lasha, did you have any issues with that entire, crazy weekend that went down?
My brother told me about it. It was one of those posts, like you said, on Facebook. And he's like, check your people, make sure everybody's good, get accounted for. I'm not real sure what it is. Unfortunately, with everything that's happening here in Minnesota, we do have a little residual effects of the unrest. I love it, St. Paul. I love St. Paul.
I know it.
Sure, and I'm not leaving, so we need to get it together.
I don't know. I know this past week the Kentucky Derby just passed and people were gathering together to celebrate and have parties. I've never been to a Kentucky Derby party. How about you all?
I actually haven't either, but I'm having a Kentucky Derby party. I have no idea what to wear. I don't know even what to expect. But I have learned that there's a difference between a Kentucky Derby hat and a fascinator, ladies. Have you heard of the fascinator? That's what I'm hoping to wear.
It's my favorite season. Like, I love the Kentucky Derby season because it's a time to, like you said, get really fancy with it. The hats, of course. There was a local party here in Minneapolis that happens every year. I don't know the name of the organization, but Jessica Rogers, shout out to her. She's really involved in the foster home care system. She grew up in the foster home care system. And so as a child of that, she's really focused on that for her business. And she does an annual Kentucky Derby party, and that was always our time to shine. And my best year was when I wore a total beautiful yellow dress with a fuchsia hat and steel shoes. So yes, I'm all about the fashions for the Kentucky Derby. I did not attend this year, but I definitely am looking forward to checking out the pictures from those that did.
Oh, fun.
Awesome. I love that. Well, speaking of the Kentucky Derby and all of the fun this week, hot topics included, you see it on your screen, Bennifer. Now, this blew me away because I think, A-Rod and J-Lo, I wasn't really feeling that in general, but apparently there's been sightings of J-Lo and Ben Affleck being out together. So, ladies, what do you think? Lash, you're single, but you got a bae. How soon is too soon to be out dating after a breakup?
Celebrities seem to kind of speed it up. I'm like, geez, isn't your heart still hurting? And they're already moved But yes, I saw Ben getting out of her car online. I said, okay. I did like them together. Bennifer was a super cute couple. But we don't even know how long ago that Jen and A-Rod broke up. You know what I mean? Honestly, we don't know the real time. So maybe it's been a while and we just weren't privy.
It might have been old to them and new to us. I'm here for the throwback. Bennifer's giving me all the 2000 vibes. So yes, get it.
Our next guest is a friend of the show, Christy Primer. We will be checking in with her to talk about crushing your goals and building genuine connections. I can't wait for it.
Welcome back to Crush It with Christy. I'm Christy Primer, president of Primetime Consulting Services. My company is all about educating and empowering women to get back in the driver's seat of their own lives. I believe that healthy and wealthy women change our world. I help women transform from saying one day about their dreams to actually living them right now. I would love to support you in your next step and help you get the confidence that you need to go after the life that you're craving. Connect with me on Instagram or on my website, and we'll catch you next time on Crush It with Christy.
Welcome back to the show. So our next guest is giving us all the boss babe energy for your Saturday. We are excited to learn how she became the millionaire mommy. Welcome to the show, Coach Tavey Dee.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you guys so very much. I'm so excited to be here and definitely grateful. I cannot wait. Wait.
It's so nice to meet you, and you're coming from Texas.
Yes.
So tell us about what you do. You actually run a successful media agency and coaching business. So tell us more about your services and your media agency.
Well, the name of my business is Master Media Agency. I've been owning it for about 3 years now. It's been an amazing experience. Honestly, we service social media, branding and marketing and advertising. And I've got the opportunity to work with so many amazing female entrepreneurs, which has been probably the favorite takeaway of owning this agency, seeing people go from where it is that they are to where it is that they want to be with just the right push into the right direction. And so that's what we focus on with that particular business. And it has been an amazing business. It's very, very great. It's a very great thing.
I love it. That's so awesome to hear. So as a high school dropout, mother of 3, and some people would hear those things and think that they could hold you back. But you, however, have rocked it out. How did your life experience help you in your business?
It is such my motivation. It is 100% my motivation. Like, I feel like there was a story that I was super inspired by with the 2 sons who had alcoholic as a dad, right? One of them went on to be successful. One of them went on to be an alcoholic just like his father was. And when they were both interviewed, they were asked, what made you so successful? He said, my father being an alcoholic was the motivation I needed, right, to live my life differently. And then asking the other one, like, why are you an alcoholic? He said, because my dad was. So I feel like we can either allow our situations to eat us alive and tell us who we are, or we can choose who it is that we want to be and take life into our own hands. So even though I went through all of that, it is such the solid foundation to my success today. It truly is.
Well, you are doing lots of things, right? And it sounds like you recently launched something called the Digital Currency Network. Can you tell us more about that?
So the Digital Currency Network is 100% my new vision. This vision came from me becoming an independent investor with cryptocurrency as of this year. Being so successful in the advertising world and, not having that educational background, a lot of this process has been self-learning. And so I felt the need and the passion to create a space, a network, a private network where people who come from the places I come from or who can relate to me or who want to advance as an investor. Once you have a business for so long, you're literally trying to figure out, how can I make money without showing up for every dime? And so that's what put me into this space. And it's just allowing me to have that much more freedom. So I created the Digital Currency Network just so people can have a safe place to come and learn about crypto and how to invest into it, which coins to invest into, you know, when to buy, when to sell, just a perfect way to guide people into the right direction, because there's so many things out there on the internet, and this is very sensitive information, and I felt like there is a demand for a space where people can come and feel safe and elevated and go through the experience of actually becoming an investor and seeing results.
So you are an entrepreneur through and through, and you have multiple streams of income, which is the only way I feel to do that. So at what point did you realize like this entrepreneurship thing is working for me? You're starting to see some big success. At what point did you decide this is the route you're taking from this point on?
Well, so about in 2014, so about 6 years ago, I started my entrepreneur journey with walking away from my job. That was the last year that I was employed. And after seeing myself replace the income that I was slaving for at my job, after seeing that income being replaced, and then on top of that, I had a taste of freedom. I'm like, wait a minute, I have money and I can do what I want to do. I'm like, this might be actually working for me. Like, this must be what entrepreneurship is really all about. You always hear people selling you freedom, time, freedom, all these things. But when you first experience it, it literally grabs you in, because this is a space you crave to be in. And I knew then that I had to give it my everything, and it would give me everything back.
So you're offering this free Forex Fridays. And for those who don't know what is Forex and what do you talk about during this Forex Friday?
So I'm super excited to talk about that. Thank you. So Forex has been one of the ways that I've become accustomed to, you know, investing into cryptocurrency. It's like one of the 3 ways that I've been able to make money with cryptocurrency. And so Forex is actually the foreign exchange market. It's the biggest financial market in the world. Our banks are trading on this market all the time. This market is very similar to the stock market, where stock markets is filled with businesses and brands, right? And you're able to, you know, invest into a percentage of those stocks. Well, with the Forex market, it's all the national currencies. And so crypto is one of the currencies that is on there. And so you're able to benefit from learning, you know, the how to buy and sell currency on the exchange, depending upon the exchange rate between currency pairs. And so every Friday, because I know this is new information, this information blew my mind away. I was like, wait a minute, I need a minute to digest this. Okay. But because I know it's such a new space, I created all these opportunities for people to tap in and actually have the experience and gain the understanding before going to go invest into seminars and webinars and mentorship and coaching. Like, let me show you exactly what it is that we do. I believe in giving value on the front end. I learned that from Gary Vee.
All right.
On the front end, and then that will allow you to really cultivate people into the space that they want to be. So yes, I love Forex Fridays.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tap into that.
So what is next for the Millionaire Mommy, and where can people find you if they want to work with you?
Well, you can definitely find me on Instagram at Millionaire Mommy. I've been building my brand on Instagram for almost a year now, and it's been very successful. I have like just the ultimate servitude. So the next thing that I'm getting ready to do is a exposure to expansion launch boot camp, teaching women. I feel like last year, so many of us were forced into this entrepreneur space. All of a sudden, everybody's like, I just need to start a business. What's going on with the world? And I'm like, as a marketing coach of 5 years, I felt the need to create this boot camp that I'm going to be doing in June to help women to launch their businesses the right way. PR being one of the biggest things that has to happen when you launch your business. And so, number 1, I'm being the example. And number 2, I'm going to do that boot camp as a way to give back to the community and really help more women launch their businesses, share their stories, be heard, and inspire more people. So that's what's coming up next for me. And I'm
so good. Coach Tavey Dee, you make sure you are following her on social. And coming up next, such good conversation. It continues. We will be right back.
Marketing for local businesses is critical, but it can be pretty confusing. At Vivial, we work with you to understand your business and individual marketing needs to tailor a custom designed solution so you can focus on what you do best, running your business.
Want to learn more about Vivial's digital marketing services? Find us online at vivial.net/Natalie.
Welcome back to the Connect Show. So we are so happy to be spending our Saturday morning with you here on the CW Twin Cities. You know the drill by now. On Saturdays, we are diving fearlessly into conversation that I think sometimes is difficult, but that's what we do as women in business.
And May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Right now, more than ever, it is so important. Take care of ourselves and take care of each other, ladies. So how do you maintain your mental health right now?
Well, what I love over just the last several weeks, us sitting here and visiting, it's helped me to even think deeply about ways that I can be intentional about mental health and my own mental health. And that's just the delegation, getting help with my house, my kids, all of those things. And I decided just this week that I'm going to, on Wednesdays, because I don't even get my nails done. I tell myself I don't have the time, but I do like what they look like when they're done. I've had 2 pedicures in 13 months, so fall over right now. But I've decided every other Wednesday, even though I really don't care about pedicures or nails, I'm going to do it just because it's going to be an hour for myself. Even if I get clear, I'm going to have every other Wednesday, I'm getting a pedicure. Yeah, that's my mental health.
You've got to carve it in. You've got to carve that time in, and I started putting it on my calendar. I would never miss an appointment with a potential, listing or buyer. So why do I not do that for myself? So that's what I started doing too. And writing for me has been, I love writing. I'm always the ghost writer for my girlfriends, wink, wink. And so I've just got a journal now, and I'm just writing my thoughts, nothing planned or just open, whatever comes to heart goes on paper. And that's been really helpful for me, for my mental health.
Yeah. Both those things are things that I do. I love the nail salon. So that's something I subscribe to. Yes, heavily. And yeah, lost journaling is something that, now that hearing you say it, it reminds me of like when I do that consistently, how good it feels. For me, I try out a lot of different kind of self-care things, but I think, just after having kids, taking the next step to actually go speak to somebody and sit down with a therapist is something that I'm understanding the importance of. Not that I'm in, I think you could always be working on your mental health. And I think often, at least for me, I think of going to a therapist when I'm in like a state of like trauma or something bad is happening. And I think the best thing I ever heard, and I can't remember where I heard it now, is to go when you're in a good place, right? So you build that relationship with them, knowing who you are when you're happy and healthy. Of course, there's always things to work on. So when you get into a situation where life gets hard, because it will, you already have a foundation set. So that is one of my goals. I was going before I had my daughter, and then, kids happen. So I'm going to get back into that. Well, as entrepreneurs, it's not uncommon to put a big focus on growth, but are healing and growth linked, right? Can you have one without the other?
Healing and growth. I don't know. I feel like I don't feel like that's a big connection to me. I feel like they're so different, but I'd love to hear your experience, ladies.
Well, I think that's a great perspective as well. They can be quite different, but perhaps they work together. If you even think of it as in the physical sense, a wound, right? Well, when it heals, you're able to grow and do more things. And a broken arm or a broken leg, whatever, I mean, however you want to look at it, I think they can parallel and coincide. But, you know, I think looking at the mindset in general, growth can happen for many reasons without pain, right? Because in order to heal, you got to have a little bit of pain or something happen. So I think growth can happen without healing.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to just, like, for me, thinking about, especially going into this month, is trying to think about, you know, if you don't have, like, again, a strong foundation, if you in your spirit and within yourself maybe aren't in a healed pace, you may be able to grow, but it might not be at the rate at which it could be, right? So I think, like, having a place where you feel whole, right, can help with growth.
Well, regardless the mindset for healing or growth, a lot of times you just need a community of women to build with. So who do you guys want to shout out this morning? Anyone that you're working with or communities, group communities that are encouraging you to continue to build your mindset?
Well, I am a part of Activate Your Network. It is a women's networking group. All of us are entrepreneurs. Most of them, I wouldn't say, I don't know. I don't know the statistics, but a lot of them do have a day job, but their dream is to be an entrepreneur. And so that's been really instrumental for me, just with community, with ideas about my business, keeping me encouraged, especially during the pandemic. They did a really good job of pivoting, if you will, online to kind of keep us fired up and motivated. And I've met some amazing women who are friends from that community. So activate your network.
Oh, I love that. Michaela, what about you?
Yeah, I think all of mine are maybe a lot more informal. Like, I have just great friendships, people I've been friends with from grade school who now we've gone through motherhood together. So I'm really grateful for that. As I think about organizations or sense of community, actually Facebook groups, like, I don't like to tend to be on Facebook a lot, but what I do like about Facebook are the Facebook groups. Like there's one about toddlers with moms under like 5 or something. And it, like, when I tell you I be just needing a good laugh, I can go on there and it be the craziest stuff on there. Definitely the connect, just being able to tap in with you ladies every week. Even with the other hosts and the other show, just hearing those stories is uplifting as well. So yeah, those are some of mine. What about you, Natalie?
I've got to go with the Connect as well. I like the way you think, Michaela. The Connect Network's been a great opportunity for me too, just to just learn. As even though it's my business, I'm still looking to these women to teach me, to inspire me, to influence me. And it's not an accident to have those women around. It's the way you get great quick, right? It can take a long time, or you can do it fast by linking up with the right community.
Very important. Well, I thank you for watching with us this Saturday on the CW. Up next, we are at the table with Tommy. Chef Tommy, what do you have for us this week?
You are at the table with Tommy Vincent, where there is always a seat reserved with your name on it. This week, we're going to talk about being honest with ourselves. The affirmation from the You Will is, I will be honest with me. It's one thing when we have lies given to us by other people. We can survive those lies. But when we lie to ourselves, we are now living a life that is deceptive and is not honest with who we are and who we've been created to be. On the Stay a While podcast, I have a conversation. In the context of honesty, we make excuses for why we continue to engage with people that are harmful. We tell the lies over and over and over again. And what happens? We waste time. And the only time that we can get the time back that we lost is by simply cutting those relationships off. I want to encourage you this week with your hard work to really be honest with yourself and to build trust with your inner voice. Now on Stay a While Show page on Instagram, I'm having these open and honest conversations. So hit us up in our DMs and let us know some topics that you would like to discuss. And as always, please make sure that you're tuning into Stay a While podcast on Apple Podcasts and everywhere that you listen to your podcasts. I'm so grateful that you joined me today for this soul food. And remember, life happens at the table. So meet me there.
Well, welcome back to Twin Cities. Each week we get together and we talk to amazing women about their journey, their successes, right, and their business, and we get to learn from one another. So it's always so much fun.
We talked earlier about growth, and sometimes growth happens when we are uncomfortable. Ladies, when was the last time you felt uncomfortable, but in a good way?
All the time. I'm always looking to level up. This week I invested into 2 new coaches to kind of help me with 2 particular areas I want to grow in. And I have a lot going on right now. Do I have time? Do I need to be investing right now into a new deal? Yes, I do. Because guess what? Here's the setup. It takes money to make money, and just repeat and invest in yourself over and over and over again. And I promise you it'll pay off. That's what I've been experiencing. So I think growth is happening, although it can make me uncomfortable.
Right. And then I feel kind of piggyback with you, right? Business for me is totally exploding. I've never had more clients than I have right now. So I have to remind myself that I prayed for this moment in my business.
Amen.
And now I'm bringing on my brother. I invested in him and put him through real estate school because I knew that he would come and work for me, and nobody that I trust more than my own little brother.
Which one, Lash? Which brother?
My little brother, Ozzy. He's the youngest of our pack, and he will be joining the Signature Group here soon as my full-time showing assistant. It was time to invest in my business, invest in my family at the same time. But I literally am at a point where I really can't take on new clients and provide the service that I want to and they deserve without getting some help. So it's a good problem. I'm uncomfortable in a very good way right now.
That's right. Congrats, Lash.
Thank you.
Yeah. For me, I think it's just what I mentioned earlier, which is investing in my mental health, right? And I think a lot of things will grow from that. And so, not being bothered by some of the stigmas that we hear about that, and just being willing to take some time to sit with myself and make sure that, all this growth that I hope to come from is in a place where my foundation is solid. So that is sometimes uncomfortable to be like, yeah, no, I'm actually going to sit down and talk to somebody and, want to do the work, but happy to be in that space. Well, if you are enjoying all this girl boss magic and want to catch the past episodes, you can binge them Netflix style on Natalie's Network on YouTube.
And don't forget to join our membership at the Connect Network. We talked about community earlier in the show, and it's a great place to find women that are looking to just level up like you. We will see you next week. We hope you have a fantastic weekend. You are watching the Connect Show Twin Cities. Bye.
Bye.